Welcome, everybody, to the Super Bowl edition of the Bush and Me Show. We're back for the Super Bowl, baby. We got the Eagles. We got the Chiefs. It's Super Bowl time. It's the biggest game of the year. Both teams are 14-3. I'll get into a little bit of the betting angle, where the money's coming in and everything a little bit. But let's jump into you first, big dog. You've played in a Super Bowl, for those people that just avidly listen to us and don't know. My man played in the Super Bowl for the New Orleans Saints. You went in there, you guys upset Peyton Manning and the Colts.
Was it really an upset, though? I don't know if it was an upset because we knew we were going to kick their ass. No, you're right.
Numbers wise, it was an upset. You guys were getting points.
Yes.
But tell everybody about this week, like what these players are going through leading up to this game, the emotion. You know, your family's there, your friends are there, your high school coaches are there. How do you manage all that and get ready for the biggest game of your life?
Well, it's at the end of the day, you know, it's cliche as it sounds. At the end of the day, it is football. It is football, you know. But the managing the emotions, everything that comes with the Super Bowl, you know, the hype, the parties, the fans, the family, like you were saying. You got your high school, you got your college coaches, you got so many different individuals who are coming to witness or hopefully witness or be there for your support, man. It's really a beautiful thing. But, you know, really, really, truly listen. It's inside the white lines. And, you know, when you walk out there for the Super Bowl, in whatever stadium it is in year after year, it's always going to be a lot of excitement. It's always going to be a lot of celebrities. There's going to be people you just wish you could go up to and ask for a picture. Maybe some people did, you know, pregame, but for the most part, it was focused. You know, understanding, you know, really what's on the line, dude. Like it's the last game. This is why you put all the work in. It's no time to let your guard down. No time to let your focus down. If anything, you're going to heighten it a little bit more, so you can be the last team standing, man. It's such an amazing experience for these players, especially the first-time players, to go through it. But then the guys who've been there a couple of times, if they had to raise their hand, I bet you it wouldn't be that many. I mean, obviously, Philly, you know, won it not too long ago, so they might have some guys who are still on that team. Coaches, maybe. I mean, you know, I don't know. So. It's a unique experience, man. Some people play 10, 15 years and don't even make it to the playoffs, let alone sniff a Super Bowl. So it's going to be awesome. I'm truly, I can't wait for this game. 2 number 1 seeds. You just said it, both 14-3 teams. These are both the teams that we thought were going to be in the Super Bowl, and here
they are. I'm pumped. I haven't been this pumped for the Super Bowl probably 3 years ago. When we were in Miami together, we were on Radio Row.
Yeah.
The Chiefs won that game against the 49ers. But I'm pumped for this one. You got the Eagles, great fan base. Chiefs, great fan base. History there.
Hold on, let me cut you now. Let me cut you. I know you about to get into your stats. We definitely got to make sure that we note how significant of a game this is, right? We already talked about it. The 2 top teams in each division. You got 2 African-American quarterbacks about to go at it. That's history in the making right there. That's such a special, surreal moment for all the little kids who are out there, you know, who look up to both of these players. You know, they're going to be able to display who they are, what they stand for. And if you're talking about quarterbacks, you're talking about African-American quarterbacks, 2 guys that are, I'm not going to say changing the narrative, but just, you know, putting good, positive individuals out there under center. You know, this is exactly what is needed for these young kids that are coming up. 2 great guys. You know, I love Patrick Mahomes and everything that he's done, but look at Jalen Hurts. Look at the story. I love the story of Jalen Hurts and his resiliency. This is something, his story and the way that he dealt with adversity is something that should be taught to every single football player when you are in Pop Warner, when your ass is in when you're a professional. Like the way he handled adversity is special. So I've grown to be a Jalen Hurts fan. I mean, obviously everybody in America is a Patrick Mahomes fan. And you got, I don't know if you're going to talk about it, but the Kelsey brothers. What a surreal moment that is for the mother, the father. And they said that, you know, the mom, I guess they started some kind of petition for her to do the coin toss. Wouldn't that be wild if the NFL was to do that? Like, she'd probably be so overfilled with emotion. God, that would be awesome. I mean, so I can't even imagine. Like, I'm super hyped for this Super Bowl. You know,
there's tons of great storylines, like you already said. 2 African American quarterbacks against each other. The 2 Kelsey brothers against each other. You got Andy Reid against his old team that he couldn't win the Super Bowl with all those years, getting to the NFC Championship game, just couldn't get in there. You have the Eagles coach is slipping my mind right now. He was in Kansas City when Andy Reid came in there and didn't retain him, so let him go and kind of kicked him to the curb.
Ooh.
So he's coming back against his old team. So many storylines. You gotta love it. To get into the gambling bit a little bit before we get into Serini. Before we get into the picks, heavy money came in on Philly to start this gambling wise. Everybody, I mean, they're the hottest team right now, right? So heavy money came in on Philly, and it came in consistently. It actually opened at the Chiefs -1.5. It quickly flipped to the Eagles -1.5. Kansas City money's expected to come in late. They're looking at the money line, though. They're not going to take the points. The over is taking a lot of money here. People tend to bet the over in this game. People don't like to say there's not going to be a lot of scoring. People like to see points in the Super Bowl when they're at the party, eating their chicken wings. They want to see points. Eagles are -1.5. The total's 50.5 right now. 51's a key number here. There's a 3 to 4% chance that this could land on 51. You have 34-17. You have 28-23. It's just a key number. 51 and 52 are key numbers in the NFL. Super Bowls of 3 points or less. Doesn't happen very often. It's only happened 8 times. Right now the spread's 1.5, so it's under 3. The favorite is 5-2-1. So that's going to say lean towards the Eagles here. Unders in those games of 3 points or less, 6-2. So the line's telling you it's going to be a close game, and the under tends to happen more than the over, even though the money's coming on the over here. So those statistics will tell you to take the Eagles and the under. You'll like this one, big dog. Okay. $7.6 billion were bet on the Super Bowl last year with a B. $7.6 billion. This year's supposed to trump that. You have more states in the game. You have more online gambling than ever before. People don't have to go to the casino. They can sit at home, bet from their phone. $7.6 billion. They're going to top that. They could buy your house.
I'm just trying to figure out how I can get a couple of these B's behind my name. You feel me?
Bushrod with $1 billion.
Yeah, man. Listen, a lot of people are definitely. Hey, listen, don't go out here and lose your rent check. Don't go out here and don't go out here and trick your mortgage off, or you can't pay your bills and your car getting repoed because I believe in the Eagles. Well, you better believe with your brain first before you believe with your heart. All right. But
gamble responsibly.
Yes.
Gamble responsibly.
That's a must.
With that, we'll get into the picks here. You kick it off first. Eagles and the Chiefs. Who you going with?
Man, listen, I got a lot of different things that I'm looking for in this game. What's the health of the Kansas City wide receivers as the week continues to go? Like, are these guys going to be ready to go? Are they going to be at full strength? Because I believe Patrick Mahomes needs it. Looking at Patrick Mahomes and his health, how has he progressed? Because obviously back in the play, when he did mess his ankle up, he plays last week or a couple weeks ago versus the Bengals. Hard-fought game. You could see he was nowhere near 100%. If you're just looking at him, he looks like he's 60, 70%, maybe 80% when the adrenaline gets going. But he doesn't look as mobile as the Patrick Mahomes who went and won a Super Bowl. And that's kind of what I'm worried about. One, because Kansas City has a pretty good, solid offensive line. I mean, this is a team who has averaged over 4.5 a rush, almost 5, honestly. Has done a pretty decent job of protecting their quarterback. But last week versus the Bengals, 2 weeks ago versus the Bengals, this guy was under pressure a third of the time back there. And here's the kicker. This defensive line that they're about to face in Philly is not the defensive line that you just faced in Cincinnati. These guys have sacked the quarterback 70 times. That's
Mm.
third. That's third all time. Tied for third all time. That's the matchup. And obviously, it's you got the lineman on the show. The lineman's on the show. He's always going to be looking at the line. Where I believe, obviously, the game is won and lost in the trenches. If you kind of go back to a couple years ago, that Rams Super Bowl, yeah, they were exciting on offense, but where was their bread and butter? It was the defensive line, right? They knew that they can alter every single game with the defensive line, and that's exactly what they did. You had Von Miller and obviously Aaron Donald. They were a force. You knew going into that game, can Kansas City block them? Well, in this game, can Cincinnati block them? In this game, can Kansas City block the defensive line of the Eagles? That's the issue for me.
Big question. Because
they can push the pocket up the middle, and I love what Hargrave, Cox, and Sue can do. You got a great balance of, when I was a scout, I'd mix it up on certain guys, power and finesse. This is a power rusher, but Hargrave brings that finesse inside. And then not only can they push the pocket, they can collapse the pocket on the outside as well. If you look at their defensive ends, a phenomenal group of defensive ends that they have. You look at Graham, Reddick, playing unreal. Sweat, Quinn, playing great ball, right? Not only can they collapse the pocket, but they can also work the edges. So these guys, these are more finesse rushers, but they have some power as well. Brandon Graham does a great job of utilizing his bull rush and his strength in his upper body to push the pocket. I believe that this is going to be the deal breaker for me, and kind of what gives the Philadelphia Eagles the advantage in my eyes in this game. If Patrick Mahomes was, it's late in the season, it's the almost eighth month of football. If he was healthy and he could be himself, I believe they would have a much better chance. I just believe that the Eagles on offense and defense has too much firepower. I'm going with the Philadelphia Eagles in this one.
Ooh, Philly, dilly. I like the pick. I like it. Before I get into my picks, prop bets. Let's talk about prop bets real quick. Prop bets are huge for the Super Bowl. People bet on the coin flip, which, if you're going to bet on the coin flip, 56 Super Bowls so far, 30 tails and 26 heads. Just a stat for you out there. People bet on Gatorade color. What's going to get dumped on the coach when they win in the Gatorade color? The last couple years, it's been orange, blue, yellow, water, orange, blue. So there's no trend really there. Yellow is the favorite. People, like we said before, people love to bet on points and yards. And so all you're going to see is overs in yardage or overs in pass completions, overs in touchdowns scored. All the sharp money so far is coming in on these unders. Under receiving yards, under receptions. You're looking at the sharpest play so far, over 1.5 field goals for the first half. I actually like that one though. You got to think, Super Bowls tend to start out slow. So if they do matriculate the ball down the field and get some points, it's going to be field goals. The weirdest prop bets out there so far that people are jumping on, total yardage of field goals, all wrapped up together. It opened at 102.5. It's up to 115.5. That's a lot of field goal yards.
Is this both teams?
Both teams together. Both teams together add up to, now they thought the line at 102.5 would be good, and people just pounded it over. So now it's all the way up to 115.5. The other one, the public favorite so far, the public likes to take a lot of plus money bets. The public favorite so far of all prop bets is, will there be a safety? And the public's saying yes at plus 800.
I don't think so.
So I'm not big on prop bets, but it is fun to do in the Super Bowl. If you're going to do it very small and just do it for a little action, Jackson. Some trends before we jump into my pick. Patrick Mahomes, your boy, with the hurt ankle. Is he going to be all right? 7-1-1 against the spread as an underdog. He's an underdog in this game. 7 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie. The NFL passing leader, this is going to confuse you a little bit because that's telling you to jump on Patty Mahomes' train. The NFL passing leader in the Super Bowl is 0-6 lifetime. Do you know who led the league in passing this year? Patrick Mahomes. So, can he break the trend? Or will he be 0-7? This reminds me of, and this is going to date myself here, I was very, very young. I didn't even watch the game, but the Dolphins and Dan Marino,
Jesus,
in his second year, 1984, against the 49ers. Marino was the leading passer. Came into the Super Bowl and got shut out. Didn't perform very well. The 49ers beat him 38-16. It was Dan Marino's second year. 49ers had been in the Super Bowl before. This is Jalen Hurts' second year. Kansas City's been in a couple Super Bowls before. Final score 38-16, I don't know.
You'd be kicking yourself if you didn't bet that, and that's what the final score is.
Exact score. Lock it in. Last trend I have here. Team to score last in the Super Bowl has won the past 13 times. So not a lot of blowouts, it seems like. The team that scores last wins the game for the past 13 years.
Right.
13 years.
You know who played in the Super Bowl 13 years ago?
Saints.
Your boy. And we definitely did score last. Shout out to Tracy Porter.
We them Saints. Tracy Porter.
Shout out to my dog.
Never forget that one.
Can't.
Never forget that one. So I'm looking for this to be a good game here. I think it will start out low scoring, but you'll see a lot of points eventually. Both teams are capable of moving the ball down the field. Both teams have great defensive lines. And I think, like you said, that's going to be a very big key here. Who's going to be able to block the other team?
Yeah.
And give the quarterback protection time. One thing that worries me a little bit here, though, is the Eagles haven't had to come back and won a game. They've been dominating the first halves all year. So if they do get down early, that's going to worry me because the last time they had to come back and win a game was in November against the Colts. So a little easier there than it would be against the Chiefs.
That's motivation. That's motivation for the Chiefs, right? Like, how can we find a way to come out on fire, right? Because to me, like, as a coach, you got to feed information that will motivate your players, right? Especially in a game like this. If you're the Chiefs and you're like, you know, we've been here before, we have the coach, we got this all-star quarterback. But when you look at these guys on paper, man, with Philly, man, if you look at the roster, it's intimidating. Like, if you're just sitting there looking at who they have, look at their defensive line. They have 7 guys who could start, right? Like, they have 7 guys, 8 guys who can absolutely start. You look at their receiver room, like what they've been able to do. Their running back room is tough. I mean, I like this. I like this, man. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting.
Come down in the trenches. Going to come down in the trenches. Who can block who?
That's what it's about.
Who am I taking in this game? So who am I taking? I can't give it out just yet. I can't do it. You got to go over to Me's Money Move. We'll give the pick out. We'll give the pick out.
I call this a setup. This is a setup.
Sunday morning,
yes.
I will have my pick locked in and loaded. Go over there to Me's Money. We're on fire right now. I don't know if you've been checking it out, but college basketball is 20-3 so far in February. Oh. Great time to get hot in college basketball. 20-3 is like 86%. It's been a nice little run.
What's normal? What would be normal percentages in college basketball? Enlighten me.
If you hit at 60%, you can make a good living doing this. 60%. We're over 85%.
Oh shit! So you balling? I mean, hit your boy's Cash App. Hit your boy Cash App.
We're doing very well. So we got to keep that riding into March. March is the hottest time for college basketball. But this has been another fun year. We had to do it virtually, obviously. Not like the good old days we used to travel on the weekends. But
well, you know what happens. Life, kids.
Yep.
COVID.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so you got the Eagles. Check out my pick Sunday morning over at meesmoneymoves.com. Hope you guys have a great Super Bowl. Enjoy the game. Enjoy your family.
What are
enjoy
you
your
eating?
friends,
What are you eating?
and enjoy the food, as you would say.
What are you eating?
So we're hosting. We have a couple family members coming over.
You're
Mother-in-law will
hosting?
be
Are
in
you-
town.
Are you
Yes.
cooking or catering?
We're hosting and we're cooking. I got the Blackstone. Love the Blackstone.
Okay.
I'll throw some wings on there.
Wash them.
I will not wash my chicken.
Get the
It'll
gum.
cook off.
No, it
Bacteria cooks off.
That's not true. That is not true. That is not true.
We'll do We'll probably do.
We're not going to talk
We'll do
about
a round
this.
of mild. We're not talking about this right now. We'll do a round of mild. And we'll do a round of Obey. Mix them up together.
Okay.
What are you cooking?
Honestly, I haven't really decided, but I think I'm gonna do some ribs. Obviously, I'm gonna smoke some wings. I thought about
No lamb.
I thought about a brisket. Never did it before. It's a little intimidating for me. This might be
You can do lamb. You can do brisket.
That's not true at all. I do lamb chops. They take 20 minutes. Brisket takes 20 hours. So I don't know. It's something to think about. But I'm excited.
You'll make it work.
I will. Of course I will. You enjoy your Super Bowl gathering. Wish we could do it together like old times. But I don't know. If we get enough people to follow us and tell some other people to follow us, maybe next year we'll be on Radio Row and doing our thing because we'll have the support.
Super Bowl again.
We'll have the support of our fans. And let's do it. And can't wait, big dog. Eagles all
Enjoy
the
the
way.
Super Bowl. Thank you guys for another great year, and hope you guys have fun. Super Bowl Sunday, baby. We'll see you next time.
Peace.